Hey, Russell. Jonathan Alexander with the Charlotte Observer. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Jonathan.
I'm wondering what went into your decision to play this year. What was the ultimate deciding factor that you felt comfortable to play this year?
I think before we get going, I just want to give a nice shout out to the offensive linemen who are all with me here in spirit. Taylor Moton, Matt Paradis, Chris Reed, Caskey, Schofield, Johnny Miller, Daly, all of you guys, right? You guys are all here with me. So I thank you guys for your support. Look, I was going into the last year of my career, last year of my deal here, and I got traded. And look, I've always expected to play, and I came here ready to camp, expecting to have a great year.
Russell, David Newt with ESPN.com. To follow up on that, the reports are that, if the COVID situation gets worse, you would consider retirement. Where do you stand on all that?
I think it's unfortunate that, so many people, certain people in the media are more interested in being the first to report as opposed to reporting something which is accurate. No conversations like that have been had in order for that individual to feel it necessary to put any information out there like that. And especially during this time when so many people, Americans across the world, are dealing with unemployment, to even put any sort of farce of information out there is extremely disappointing. But look, I will say, look, I get an opportunity to do something that I love. And so many people across the world are unemployed or going through really difficult situations. And my heart definitely goes out to them. But as for me, I still have a job. I still get a chance to report here every morning, doing something that I've been gifted to do. And I'm going to put my best foot forward and continue to do that, regardless of the situation.
Hey, Russell. Vincent from the Right Report. As somebody who's...
I'm so sorry, I can't hear you.
Yeah, whoever that was, your audio is not coming through.
Hey, Russell, this is Joe Person with The Athletic. Good to see you this morning.
Hey, Joe.
How's your, we heard Coach Rule mention a little lower back soreness. How you feeling? And do you like kind of the idea of him giving you a chance to get up to speed,
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get to have the year I would like to have. Out there for 16 games last year, and to have acknowledgement from the head coach and say, hey, we want to make sure we take the best approach to make sure you return back safely into the game, and really stair-step my way into full action has been really good. And I think the organization has proven to be top class in recognizing the health and safety of their players. Me, I'm just getting worked back into everything. Today was a good practice. I was out there a lot longer than even I expected to be. So I just take what I can get day by day.
Russell,
Hey, Russell.
Spectrum News here in Charlotte. Welcome to town. That we can finally see you face to face. This is not your first go around in the NFL, and you've been around for a bit. How do you feel that you slot in with this offensive line group? And because you got Matt Paradis, who's been around the block a bit, yourself, and Taylor Moton to a certain degree. How do you feel you slot in with this group and maybe try to help build some cohesion and bond this group together early on?
Yeah, I think as the adage says that we're in extremely unprecedented times. So I think being brought in as a veteran who's had significant experience hopefully is helpful to the room. Look, all I know how to do is extremely try to do my job well. And I hope in some ways that I can lead by example and show these guys how I approach my work and to be a professional. Look, I played with Matt Paradis, 4 years ago. He's certainly a really talented player. I think Taylor Moton is going to be an up-and-coming all-pro tackle. There are guys all across the board who I think we should really be looking out for as really special contributors to the team. I want to get in where I fit in, and hopefully my work speaks for itself.
Russell, Dick Cox with Cox Sports Broadcasting and Lindy Sports. Talk a little bit about you're coming into a new situation here with a young team that is kind of in a transition period with a new coach and all like that. About your thoughts on the upcoming season.
Yeah, I think, for all players, it's always about the standard. And, Coach talks a lot about that here. We have a high standard in terms of how we approach our work. And each day, each play, really. And I think as long as we recognize that, regardless of the uniqueness of the times, we have a chance to win. So I'm going to yield to whatever they're trying to do here. I'm completely bought in, and each day we're chipping away, trying to find our best.
Hey Russell, this is Miles Simmons from Panthers.com. How do you feel like the offensive line is coming together as a unit, and how much has adding pads in the last 2 days helped in that?
Well, it's good. It's good. I mean, we didn't necessarily get, OTAs and the minicamp we're necessarily used to. But we are pretty much on ground zero, just like the rest of the league. So that means that we got to approach every day, every walkthrough, every meeting, as if, we're on fire, So all that means is that we're constantly going to push ourselves to be competitive and to be extremely critical, of our efforts on the field every single day. And we're just going to keep plugging away, putting that together. We have a great coach in Pat Meyer. He's also here with me in spirit, and he'll do really well for us. And fortunately, I've been able to be with him in the past, so I understand what his expectations are. I understand the system pretty well.
Hey Russell, following on from that, Vincent from the Right Report, by the way, can you, as someone who has spent some time with Pat Meyer previously, could you talk a little about what he's like as a coach and how he's aided your development as a player?
Yeah. I think the first time I met him, I met him in his office, and I said, "Hey, man, like I'm willing to buy in to do whatever I need to do in order to be successful." We talked a little bit about just my deficiencies and ways in which I could be better. We made a lot of changes, and I think going out there is pretty evident amongst the group that we were a better line than what the organization had in the past. And it's no different here. He's walking into a similar situation. He's an extremely cerebral guy. He understands ball. He understands the game, but also empowers his players to do things which are extremely particular to them. Man, he's really good at what he does, and I'm happy that I get another year to play with him.
Hey Russell, Elena Getzenberg with the Charlotte Observer. Hope you're doing well.
Thank you.
I was wondering for you, now that you've gotten to spend a little more time with Greg Little, what's your relationship like with him, and how do you see him developing?
Yeah, my relationship is similar to as it is for all the other guys. We're all learning each other, trying to figure out one another. And the most important thing is we're pushing one another in order to put our best effort out on the field. I see Greg, he's an extremely talented young player, and things were done to me, when I was a younger player, is the veterans really took me under their wing, supported me, and showed me how to play the game. And I want to pay that forward. With Greg, I think he has a really good opportunity to be successful.
Hey, Russell,
you've been pretty outspoken on social media. I was wondering if you could follow up on yesterday. You tweeted out that the state of coronavirus is morphing into political satire. Just curious if you could expound on that.
Yeah, without getting too far away from football, I think it's important that we think critically about the decisions made, especially when it comes to public policy. I think there is some data which really speaks to just how the hysteria of the coronavirus has actually been able to take place. And whether that is the proper identifiers from state to state in the hospitals, or even how a lot of our political figures are handling this. It's important that we all are aware and extremely defensive when it comes to our own individual liberties. So as an American, a proud American, honestly, I expect more. And we are in a real recession, despite what the stock market may show us. And unemployment is skyrocketing through the roof. And it's really hard out there for a lot of people. And again, I'm very fortunate to be in a situation that I'm in, but I also want to speak truth to what's going on and be as supportive as I can be.
On that same topic, how do you feel about all the COVID protocols that you as a football player, as an NFL player, are going through? over the past few weeks as you've gotten into the facility?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Panthers are doing the best they can possibly do in order to maintain a safe workplace for everyone, but not just the players, but the employees and the coaches all across the board. And I think that's all they can do. I think a lot of is out of our control in terms of how things are being handled on a state-to-state level. But we can't do anything about that. All we can do is, one, be grateful for an opportunity to work and be compensated for our work, and see where everything else ends up.
Russell, I know you've been in a lot of training camps. I'm wondering, how does this compare to other training camps you've been in as far as the style? I know Matt Rule said he wants to, do it with speed and wants to be efficient. How does this compare to other ones you've been in?
Yeah, I think this is my first time head coach, and each one of them they all have their different styles. I would say Matt is a guy who really cares about getting the best out of his team and recognizing, what's or their characteristics and attributes of the team that will make it successful. And while I can't speak to too many of the things that he's doing, he is really putting his best foot forward, and he's setting the expectations extremely high. And that's
Russell,
Josh Graham.
I think when you look at today's practice in particular, it was very competitive. It was 11-on-11 drills. Do you like that style of practice, and what do you think you get out of it?
Look, any opportunity I get a chance to come out here and compete, it's always good. Whether it's 11-on-11, 5-on-5, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. The expectation is for us to dominate every single drill that we possibly can. When whatever Matt says, it's going to go. So it feels like the guys are rallying behind that, and they understand. But we got a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do, and every day we're going to keep chipping away.
Russell, Josh Graham, Sports Hub Triad. You're obviously new to Charlotte. I'm interested in what you make of the city thus far, and you obviously have just 1 year left on your contract. Do you hope to have more security and get something done long-term before the start of the year?
I can't speak to that. You'd have to ask Marty and Samir, those guys. But, for right now, I still have an opportunity to be the starting left tackle for the Panthers. We're working in training camp, trying to get to week 1. And we'll see how it shapes up. But for now, I love what I do. I would hope that I'm a real contributor to the team. And, right now camp's in front of us, and we got to put our hard hats on, and make sure we put a good product.
David Newton with ESPN.com again. I don't know how many chances you've had to go against Efe Obada, but just what are your impressions of a young guy like that trying to make his way in U.S. football?
Yeah, I guess at 11 years now, they're all kind of young guys to me. So whether it's Efe or Brian, I think Steve's a little bit older, or Eater, you can tell all of them want to be extremely good, and we're really just kind of getting into it. And I think iron sharpens iron, so we're going to go at it, and they're going to make me a better player. I'm going to make them a better player. But I really like what I'm saying.
Russell, Steve Reed from the Associated Press. Do you have any concerns moving forward with this season? Going into kind of an unprecedented time, and any concerns about health and your health, your family's health, and in the midst of this virus?
Honestly, not really. I'm a full believer. I think the human body is extremely resilient. I think we need to really acknowledge the fact that people, we come in and we have interactions with millions of bacteria and viruses per year, and I think I try to look at my life holistically. So whether that's eating having a proper diet, taking my vitamins, and that's the best I can do. Anything other than that, it's out of my control, and I can't be fearful of that overall.
Anything else for Russell?
I just have one, Ryan. Mike Solarte against Spectrum News 1. First couple of practices, first couple of weeks, and you're one of the guys out front trying to make space for the backs. What does Christian McCaffrey look like now that you're blocking for him? Is he a guy that needs just a sliver of space, or I mean, how does it feel to be working with a guy that is obviously such a danger to opposing defenses?
I mean, the guy, he's probably one of the most competitive people I've ever been around. I mean, he competes during warm-up. So I think that's a testament to this sort of man he is. And then secondly, the player, so, I mean, anytime he gets the ball, I mean, he is 100% full speed. Whether I'm out here or not, the guy's going to make plays, so if I can find ways to, make those holes bigger for him and he can get through that, man, he's quite a talented player. And I look forward to playing with him.
Okay. Russell, thanks so much. Media, we'll put you back in the waiting room before we bring on